we would be interested to hear if the party's platform in engaging citizens was one of the reasons why this victory was so great. But we would also like to hear of ways that you are getting citizen input into some of the big priorities that you have before us. So I think, Manish, if you'll take 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll turn it over to Jami, and then we will open it for questions.
Thanks, Shari. And on behalf of Delhi government, I can say I welcome each and every one of you sitting here in Delhi. Let me confess that I think in Hindi. I'm an Indian. Hindi is my mother tongue, so I normally speak in Hindi, but of course, I'll try my best to speak in English. So I might not be as clear as Shari. You might be, you can tell me if you don't get any of my word or any of my sentence. I can repeat that for your clarity. The challenge is huge. I mean, as Shari said, that Aam Aadmi Party, right now we are heading a government in Delhi, which is being led by Aam Aadmi Party. It's a newborn party, and I don't know, many of you who are not from India might not be following the latest events, but in 2011 there was a big campaign against corruption, movement against corruption, and then we came on, it was like the entire population was on the streets to demand anti-graft law called Lokpal, and that evolved, and the bill is still pending, the law is still pending, but that demand, that movement turned into a political party, and in 2012 we floated this party named Aam Aadmi Party. Aam Aadmi means common man, so it's a common man party. We came with two promises. We floated the party not to do politics. We challenged the current political system, which has become corrupt, which has become greedy, which is working without vision. Many times we find it's like copying and pasting the things that they see anywhere in the world. Some officer or some politician might go to Europe one fine day, and one fine day he'll come back to the seat that he's in charge of and order that, okay, I have seen this good practice in US or America or Japan or wherever, and okay, now paste it. They don't even understand what they're doing, what are the exact conditions. So in such situations, this Aam Aadmi Party was born. And as I said, that our promise and our belief is not to do politics, but to change the politics, change the ways to do politics. So first and foremost thing that we have come up with is that we promise throughout the party, wherever there is election, we will never field any candidate who is tainted. No corrupt politician would be given ticket to contest election by our party. No, I'm so sorry. I'll just keep this one. Sorry. No criminal will ever be given a ticket. No corrupt person, no criminal. So all these things are there, but still, the biggest thing that we have challenged is the corrupt system, not only corrupt party, but the corrupt system that has been ruling. And people were really not only fed up, but sick of it. Today, I can say that we are a product of a pain that people were facing, people were feeling because of corruption. So, just adding another note to the history of Aam Aadmi Party and this governance, that I'm going to talk about the challenges. In 2013, as I said, 2012 we floated the party. 2013 we contested our first election, and people of Delhi gave us 28 seats out of 70. But we needed 36 for majority. We were 8 sort of majority. So, and 8 seats were given to Congress, and rest were with BJP and 2 other independent people. So we formed the government in, I mean, there were, it's a history, but just to keep it, take a note on it. We formed the government. It worked for 49 days. We resigned because we never wanted to compromise on principles of governance. We wanted honest government. We wanted to deliver our promises of anti-corruption movement that will come up with the law. So there were a lot of problems, and we resigned within 49 days. Again, after 1 year struggle, there was election, and this time people of Delhi voted us with 67 seats. That's of course historic in Indian political history. I mean, that's a landmark victory. So here is the government that is working for last, say, 50 days almost. 50 odd days we have been working in Delhi. Now I come to the challenges that we face as a local government or as a city, or we can say state government like Delhi. The biggest challenge we face is corruption, because the whole system has almost been conditioned by functioning of corrupt practices. People, especially sitting in government, don't believe that there could be a political party, there could ever be a political leadership that will sincerely work against corruption. They think, okay, we have seen so many changes. We have noticed, we have seen history in India. So we know, we have seen a lot of parties coming and going out, talking about corruption. But whoever came either went out and finished, or came and got corrupt, became corrupt eventually. So the biggest challenge I can say we are facing right now is to make people believe, make the system, people who are working in system believe that yes, when we say anti-corruption, we mean it. We don't want corruption, and there is zero tolerance for corruption. We won't tolerate. But I hope sooner we are going to make people who are working with us believe. Many of them have started working, believing, but large part of the machinery will start believing very soon. That's the hope that we are working with. Because once they start believing, they'll start working on those lines. Otherwise, many of them must be waiting. Okay, let's see how many days they work honestly, or how many they pretend to be honest, how many days they pretend to be honest politician. So that's one challenge that we are facing. But as far as city is concerned, Delhi is divided, as many of the Indian cities, in 3-tier governance. One is central, the state, provincial governance that we are heading, and there is local bodies for municipal works. But because of a lot of political reasons, this system has been too complex. Though the Constitution of India clarifies each and everything, what are the central subjects, central government, that means Indian government subject, what are the provincial government subjects, and what are the subjects that has to be handled by municipal governments. But we have a lot of zigzag divisions of works. Like, I'll give you one example. When we go for, like, there is an agency called in Delhi that is called Delhi Development Authority. We call it DDA. So when Delhi Development Authority, the mandate of Delhi Development Authority as per the law is to look after the land issues. So what they do in practice is they plan, they develop the land, they charge the development cost, they collect all the development costs and keep these collections with them only. What happens then? They build, say, 20,000 flats, housing complex for 20,000 families. They never plan for schools, they never plan for bus stops, they never plan for hospitals. Then our role comes in. We go to them, Mr. DDA, we want to build hospitals for those 20,000 families. We want to start schools for the children who are living there in with these 20,000 families. So what they do? They tell us, okay, we own the land now. We means the DDA, Delhi Development Authority. And they say that, okay, you pay 4 crore rupees. How much is this in million? 40 million. rupees and we'll give you 1 acre of land. So for one school, I have to pay them maybe 40 million rupees or whatever I have to pay. So for the schools, for hospitals, they own the land. Same is the police situation here. Police is also being controlled by the central government. So there are a lot of difficulties that as a provincial government we face. But of course, we have education, we have hospital, we have health departments, and there are certain departments we have, and we are working on it. But that's not what we are here for. We are not here just to run a government for 5 years. As I said in the beginning, this party and of course this government is a product of a pain of people that people were facing. That pain is not, people are not going to get rid of this pain merely by an honest government. The government that doesn't do corruption, the government that, the ministers who do not take bribe, it's not going to end that pain that people face in their day-to-day life. The whole system of the governance has to be changed. The whole understanding of the democracy that has evolved so far here around has to be changed. What is that? People have started feeling that if we elect our leaders in 5 years, that means democracy. No doubt election is the first step towards democracy, but is merely electing a government is democracy? That's what we are feeling. That's the challenge that we are feeling. On the both sides, on the government side as well as public side. People say, okay, now we have elected you, now you do it. When we say we want engagements, we want consultations, we'll come to you, tell us. So many a times, not always, but many a times people think, okay, if we have elected you once, why are you coming back again? Media, again, don't believe in this definition of democracy. They also feel many times that, okay, democracy means an elected government is there, so it's a democracy. So they at times laugh at us. Okay, so when we say that we'll go to public, ask for budget preparations, we'll seek proposals from the public, and we'll then prepare our budget. We have studied a couple of examples throughout the world that how people in different parts of the world are preparing their budgets by public consultations, by public engagements, in fact by public demands. So they say, okay, for each and every work you'll go to public, how the government will function then? So this basic concept, the conditioned concept of democracy is the biggest challenge that we face when we talk about engagement, discussions. Then another concept is distinguish between short-term and long-term plans, because most of the time I have been working for last 50 days in my office, and most of my hours are being spent talking to people, taking their petitions on their day-to-day grievances, like someone is not getting admission in school, someone is not getting a bed in hospital, someone is not getting justice from some particular government department. So the whole grievance mechanism, redressal mechanism is failed. I am there to make big changes in the governance system. I am there to change the system. Unless we work on that, we are not going to, we won't be able to deliver what we are supposed to do. So how much of the time as a local government, you can say it's a mix of local as well as provincial government, how much of the time should we give for these grievance redressal, day-to-day grievance redressal? Because if you come with me in my morning hours that start at around 7, 8 in the morning, almost 200 to 300 people visit my home in the morning, and 90% of them have petty grievances, which shows that system is not working. So me and my staff starts calling offices, why not working, please do this, please do this, please do this. And then I find, oh, I'm here to make changes, because these 90% cases are product of a rotten system. I have to change that system also. So priority, is another challenge that we face. How to prioritize? If I start working full time on the grievance redressal system, for last 50 days, I'm feeling that 24 hours working round the clock would not be sufficient to solve all such grievances that come every day to my table, to my office, to my home. But I can see the changes that need to be done, but I need time for that. We have to understand these things will take time. So these are the things that we are facing. Based on my experience, I can share. There are a lot of things that, of course, I believe Shari will allow a casual discussion also while moderating. This is whatever I have said is based on my experiment. I am new to the politics. I have been a journalist, as Shari told. I have read a lot of things. I have said a lot of things, but now it's my turn to do something. And yes, as a journalist, I have said a lot of things on the channels that I was working with as a student, as a reader. I have read a lot of things about democracy. I feel I have better understanding of democracy, but when it's come to doing, the time will tell how much I have understood and how much I'm able to deliver. But I believe I'm here to deliver, and especially once people start understanding what democracy means, it's not only election, it's not electing your king for 5 years and then keep begging from him for next 5 years. It's not about electing a king, it's for 5 years. So once people start understanding this, then the whole relationship between a citizen and the, say, that so-called king, or maybe people like us, will change. So we are trying our best. We are here to learn. I'm not here to share much because it's a beginning for us. We'll be grateful to NED, World Movements for Democracy, all such movements, that if we can learn more from you, if we can have the best practices, like as I said, we are going to prepare budgets with public consultation this time on pilot basis. Out of 70 constituencies, we are trying to do this at least in 11 constituencies this time, that will go to the public, ask their demands, and put all, or maybe the sanctioned demands to the House, and the House will clear all those demands. This won't need any government officer to sanction or estimate or something. So all these things we have learned from the world that people are practicing. We would like to know more, we like to understand more, and we are open. We are not here. People generally accuse us that you don't have any ideology. That's our strength, I believe, that we are here to learn and experiment and deliver. Thank you very much for giving me space to discuss. And I'm hopeful that people who have come from different parts of the world will be sharing their experiences. My colleagues would be sitting. My colleagues have been attending this seminar since morning, and they are taking notes. They'll tell me what are being discussed, what are the things, what are the learnings. I hope to learn a lot from you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deputy Minister, and thank you for your observations, but also your honesty about the challenges of being a new leader and a new politician. So, Jami, I'd like to turn it over to you. We spoke yesterday a little bit about some of the challenges in Pakistan with local government, and I hope you can talk a little bit about some of the issues with young people and how they're being engaged or not engaged, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Thank you, Shari. First of all, before starting my talk, I would like to congratulate NED and World Movement for Democracy and ADN and Institute for Social Sciences and all the partners that together made this wonderful conference happen in New Delhi. And I think this is a wonderful opportunity for all of us to have such a diverse galaxy of practitioners, not only from this region, but from across the globe. And this gives us a rare opportunity not only to share our views and our experiences, but to come up with a common strategy to cope up with the consequences and to find a way forward for a better future. I also thank NDI for choosing me as a panelist in this session. I have been working with NDI in Pakistan since a very long time as a trainer, and I do conduct trainings for political parties on the platform of NDI. And for Aam Aadmi Party, let me tell you, Mr. Manish, that this party and the success that you have had has not only inspired people in India, but I would say this party and its victory has really impacted the whole region. And I must share my feeling that even in Pakistan, people have started thinking on these lines that there should be a party like Aam Aadmi Party in Pakistan. And I hope maybe in future, society of Pakistan or people of Pakistan would also have such a dynamic party. I would like to share my views and some analysis on the political dynamics of urbanization in Pakistan mainly.